Hey guys, Alex here, AG Automotive, and here today we've got the 2025 Great Wall Motors Tank 300 diesel in the fossil grey. So let's check it out. Alright, so before we get into the video, just want to do a shout out to Brian Hilton GWM, who were nice enough to let me have a look at this today, and I'll leave their contact details down below. And if you are after a Tank 300 diesel or any of the Great Wall Motors range, go and see them and let them know that Alex from AG Automotive sent you, and they will look after you. And if you do enjoy these videos, please consider subscribing. So at the front here, you've got the tank badge. Got a big black grille there. Got the front cameras. It's got 360 cameras. It's got some nice trim pieces built into the bumper there. You got your parking sensors, front ones there, and you do have your LED daytime running lights and headlights, and you got your fog lights down below there. So what are your thoughts on the Tank 300 diesel? Have you ordered one? Have you actually got yours yet? Let me know in the comments. So the wheels on the Tank 300 are 18-inch wheels, and they're silver and piano black. And you know what? I think if we stand back, they actually suit the Tank 300 really, really nicely. Now you can also have a look at the suspension in there as well. A little bit of clearance, which is good. Further back we have your side steps. Now have a look at these, how much higher they are. They don't sit too low, which is really, really good. Even though they are sort of plasticky, you do get some height on that as well. You do have your little camera on the wing mirror along with a light. You've got your roof rails and your sunroof. And we come around to the back here, you've got the spare wheel on the back there. You've got a reverse camera, GWM tank. You've got 2.4T four-wheel drive, and then you've got 300 written there as well. You do have your parking sensors and a nice off-road trimmed bumper there. And the Tank 300 diesel can now tow 3 tonne up from 2.5. You also have these chunky LED rear tail lights. All right, let's go and have a look inside. So inside the Tank 300, first impressions, very, very nice and premium in here. Things like this piece on the dash takes my sort of eye when I get in there. Also the vents as well, there's something out of like a jet plane, and even the analog clock in the middle there with some buttons, that's pretty cool as well. Now you do have these bolts that are holding in these grab handles, again, even on the doors, these little bolts there. So you know what, it's kind of rugged and premium at the same time. So the dash is actually really soft all the way, which is nice. You do have your driver monitor system. Again, I'm not a fan of them, but you can disable it. The door trims, you know what, nice and soft there. I love the pattern with the white stitching there, and like I said, the grab handle there, you get a nice fancy speaker cover too. So to the right of the steering wheel, you do have some buttons there. So you've got your illumination button for your dash, your headlight height control, your traction control on or off, or your downhill assist. Above that, push it in, and you've also got a little tray there, should you wish. It does say no smoking. And then further down, you do have a bit of a pocket there too to keep more storage. Steering wheel, really nice to hold, full leather. On the left, you do have some audio and phone controls, and on the right, you do have some dash controls there. And I actually quite like it. It's sort of rugged and chunky, so that's not bad. Behind there, you do have the paddle shifters. So you got your left stalk with auto wipers, and then further down, you do have your cruise control there as well. On the right, indicator and headlight stalk with auto headlights there as well. So on the dash, you do have your digital speedo and digital tacho there. You've also got distance till empty down the bottom there. Now in the middle you can actually have a couple of different screens. So we'll just go to them. So you've got, currently we're in the guide mode, which shows you your mapping. If you can go into classic mode, which shows you a little picture of the car there, and you can go to off-road mode, which gives you all sorts of things like your pitch angle, your roll angle, things like that, which is pretty awesome. Now on the right you do have a couple of different things you can look at there. So we've got your radio station, or what you're listening to if your phone's connected, and then there's your mode switching for the guide mode, classic mode, or off-road. And the media screen. Now I like it how it sits back into the dash, that's very nice. Now we're just in the home screen now. You got things like your time, what music you're listening to, your navigation, if your phone's connected, and your radio. You've also got a couple of shortcut buttons to the right, and then further to the right again you do have some controls for the audio. So we'll just go into the menu there. So we'll start off with the car settings there. There's a whole heap of car settings should you wish. You've got settings for the display and things like your hotspot, Wi-Fi, things like that. You've got navigation. We'll just go and have a look at that. And you know what? That's actually very, very smooth, guys. I really like that, and it does look more up to date than some of the ones I've used. You've got an off-road mode, so you can see things like your tire pressure monitor, your pitch and roll, your altitude. You've got a compass there, and you've got things like the degrees that the wheels are moving and things like that. So that's pretty cool. You can go to Conqueror Perspective, which gives you like a top-down view and a front view when you're forward driving to make it that little bit easier. You do have, you've got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You've also got FM, AM and digital radio stations, along with music from a USB or a Bluetooth device. You've even got USB video there. You've got Bluetooth phone. You've got your messages, users, radio, tune-in radio, cabin manager and your app store there. Now if I scroll up from the top down, you have a few things you can turn on: Bluetooth, hotspot, Wi-Fi, screen off, 360 surround view, things like that. You've got your media volume, your navigation volume and your backlight there as well. And go into the climate control there. So it's dual zone climate control. Again, really, really easy to use, and some of it is controlled via the screen. You've also got some buttons further down there as well. And further down, like I said, nice vents on either side. In the middle, you've got an analog clock. I think that's quite premium. And then you have things like your demisters. You got your seat heaters there, which is nice. And then you've got your hazard light switch at the bottom. You do have your start-stop button down there as well. Further down, you do have a few shortcut buttons there. Things like you can turn on and off the air conditioning there. You got your AC button, your fan speeds, your modes, your temperature up and down, your recycled air, and you can put it on auto. Further down, you do have two USBs, a 12-volt plug. You've also got your wireless phone charger, and I've tested this and it works a treat, which is nice, and it's good to have it sort of out of the way. And further back, you do have this dial on the left. It's a terrain mode for 4x4. So you've got things like mud and sand. You've got rock mode. You've got mountain mode. You've got pothole mode. That's good for the Central Coast. You can drive around anywhere just in pothole mode. And you go back to normal mode there as well. Now you do have on the right your four-wheel drive selected, 2 high, 4 high and 4 low. Your gear selector there, so park is a button on top, and then you can go up for reverse, down for neutral and down further for drive or manual modes. On the left here you do have a few buttons. Your front and rear locking diff, you've got a button to turn more sharply. You can set your cruise when you're off-road, so you can set it for a slow pace. And you've also got a drive or terrain mode when you're in 4 high, so you have snow mode or normal mode. Now on the right hand side there, you do have your camera button there, and I'll just show you that there. And you can see we can go all around the car there, and it's actually really clear. That's pretty cool, actually. Or you can have a look out the front. You can have a look in 2D. You can have clear chassis. You can have assistant view from both the sides there as well. Or you can actually have a look at the rut view, so from a top down, which is pretty cool. Now you do also have, a button which goes into the expert mode. So basically you can adjust things like your drive mode, your steering mode, your ESC settings, things like that. Further back you do have your park brake or finger brake, and then you've got your auto hold there as well. And further back you do have a little tray. If you slide that back, it reveals 2 cup holders there as well. And the armrest, you know what, a little bit of softness there, and we'll open that up, and you got plenty of room, and it also doubles as a cool box as well. Seats, really nice and comfy to sit on, and again, the nice white stitching and the white trim around the edges. Very, very nice. And the glove box, you know what, nice and roomy. You get your books in there, plus a couple of iPads, no worries. Nice mink carpet, very nice. So the moonroof and sunroof. So we can tilt that up and we can actually open that all the way. It's a one-touch operation, and you know what, goes back all the way, and it's really good for these Australian conditions. All right, let's go and have a look in the back. So in the back of the Tank 300, now first impressions is it's actually quite spacious in here for me. Now I'm 6'1", 185 centimeters. I've got plenty of headroom. Knee room is really good. Leg room and foot room is also really, really good as well. And this seat is set up in my driving position. So you do get 2 ISO fixed spots there and 2 behind me. And the armrest, nice and soft, and you get a couple of cup holders in there as well. Now for the rear passengers, you do get ventilation, you get 2 USBs, a little bit of pocket space, and you also get mat pockets in there as well. You also get grab handles up here and grab handles on the front there as well. And I think the driver's side could have some grab handles on it, as it would be easier to get in and out. All right, let's go and have a look in the boot. So in the boot of the Tank 300. So here we have 400 litres of boot space, which I think is pretty decent. That's with the rear seats up. If you fold the rear seats down, that expands to 1,635 litres, so you get fairly a lot of space in there. Now you do get your 3 tether points there. You do get a 12-volt plug on the right. You do have some storage on the left here. You've got tie downs all around. And if I lift up the carpet, you can see you have your breakdown tools, and you've also got a amp and sub in there as well. All right, let's go and have a look under the bonnet. So under the bonnet of the Tank 300. So here we have a 2.4 litre turbo diesel 4-cylinder, and it produces 135 kilowatts of power and 480 newton meters of torque. And that's mated to a 9-speed auto, driving all 4 wheels. Now, GWM claimed that this one, the diesel, will use 7.8 litres per 100 kilometres. All right, let's go for a drive. So driving the Tank 300 diesel, and vision out the front's really good, straight ahead towards the passenger side. Rear vision's got a bit of width but not much depth, but you got your 360 cameras and your parking sensors to aid in that. Vision out the sides, you know what, really good all the way, and the mirrors are big enough and wide enough and have a good field of vision out of them as well. So we're just going to see how the Tank 300 goes over a bumpier stretch of road. And I'm pleased to report that the Tank 300 actually soaks up most of the bumps, which is nice. Now, steering. Nice and light, which is good. There's another corner coming up here. Feels like you can sort of throw it in a bit more. And even road noise, if you have a listen, can't really hear much. And also engine noise. Now, I've driven a fair few diesels, and I must say the Tank 300 diesel is actually pretty quiet. I mean, obviously when you get on the throttle, you get a little bit more sound, but normal driving, it's actually pretty quiet. So what's the acceleration like from the Tank 300 diesel? Well, let's find out. Yeah guys, that was very, very smooth. I'm very impressed with the diesel engine that they've put in the Tank 300. Very, very smooth, and you know what, it uses all that torque and power and it actually puts it to the ground. So I'm pretty impressed guys with this actually. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the next one. Alright, thanks guys.